Very green. Holy moly. Great job! Yeah! This guy. Thank you! Wow! Hell yeah. Woo-hoo! Great job, man!
And we got a crash. Car spinning left and right.
Buddy, let her rip. Rain like hell, baby! Come on! Oh my god, guys! Yes! Yes! Unbelievable! You guys are the best! Yes, 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 yes! Oh, what a year!
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Darian Gilliam, aka Black Flags Matter, back for another edition of the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. So the good news is there are four of us. The bad news is one of our usual podcast panel he's missing, Eric Eastep, but he was at the race at Darlington, and I actually, I'm going to be quite honest with you guys, I had, just remembered, the last minute that Eric was going to be on. I had completely forgotten. Why isn't he on today, Jared? What is he doing?
Doing some stuff with family.
Yeah, so it's just family. Oh, yeah, okay. It just clicked. Okay, I just remembered why. Okay, there we go. It just clicked with me. I won't say why, but now I know why. But anyways, we have our other two guys, the Iceberg and Danny B Talks, as well as my arch nemesis, Michael Mrucz. What's going on,
I hate you.
buddy?
What's up, man?
Hey, buddy. You see what I did there? How's it going, buddy?
It's going good. Thank you guys for having me back on again.
Yes, and I love the background. I love the background too.
Yeah, I
ripped
this from Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So
there it is.
We can only hope.
Hey, we'll see how the season plays out. By the way, I saw you guys have given out already a bunch of super chats, and we're not even 3 minutes into the show. So thank you guys so much. Those will be read at the top of the hour. So stay tuned for that. But let's get right into it, y'all. So Darlington happened. Let's go through the Cup Series race first. Jarrett, you start us off. Just your overall thoughts on the atmosphere of Throwback Weekend, as well as what happened in the race.
Okay, so with the throwback stuff and the race itself, what I kind of noticed on social media was, and this is why you can't take it, I think, at face value, everything that's said on there, is that everything kind of seemed muted this week. It seemed like, there was always something, ripping on something for the throwback week, or, it wasn't as good as before. As for the racing, people might recall, I said a couple weeks, maybe a week or two back, I don't know. It was a bit back when Dale Jr. was, I believe, on Door Bumper Clear, and he was saying, there's going to be shifting at Darlington. It could ruin the race, stuff like that. So in general, it seemed like expectations were kind of lowered down. The throwbacks were awesome. Outside of the Wicked Witch of the South striking again, everything was great. Yeah, I thought that the majority of the throwbacks were really good. I thought that, as usual, the Hendrick ones really. They were better on the track than the renders were. As for the racing itself, the most important part, we'll talk about F1 in a bit, but I think NASCAR product-wise was the best racing series Cup, and I'm talking Cup versus Xfinity as well, of the weekend. It was difficult to pass, but not impossible. There was a lot of side-by-side racing. A lot of tire wear, just basically everything that we want out of a Darlington race, there was. And what I appreciate is that Darlington, it seems like, for about the past 5 years, has gotten just better and better each year. It was very hit or miss at times during the early Gen 6 through the COT era. But since about, I'd say 2019 to 2020 to 2021 to this year, we haven't had a bad Darlington race in years. It doesn't matter the package, it's kind of the way that Kansas and Chicagoland and a couple of the other intermediate tracks, it's kind of like them. It's like you just can't put a bad race on at Darlington right now.
No, you can't, man. You can't. And I get the whole criticism of moving Throwback Weekend to basically during the regular season. I don't know, it's still big, but to me, it's just, it doesn't feel as important because, when it was on Labor Day weekend and stuff, you had all this time to announce your throwback scheme, and it was a big deal. They would do unveilings at the NASCAR Hall of Fame, is such and such is going to race this year. Scheme is going to race this guy's scheme as a throwback. They would just have so much time to hype it up. And while it's still pretty big for like it being on Mother's Day and stuff like that, and it fitting at, you know, that holiday being a throwback event and stuff, spending time with family, all that, I don't know. It's just something about it being on Labor Day during the playoffs. Just it seemed a lot bigger to me. I don't know. What do you think, Danny?
Well, I think to that aspect, I think your second running at Darlington kind of brings just a little bit more, I don't know, serious legitimacy to the Saturn 500. You're there for, you know, you're focused on championship drive. So I don't know, maybe it's more better that the spring day is where we get to, you know, kind of let loose, have fun, then come back serious for the next race. And as we've seen from previous cars, there's no one's saying you have to run a throwback at just one Darlington race, because what we see, the 21 did a throwback in the fall race still. So,
yeah,
you know, it can still you do whatever you want. Your car, as long as your sponsor likes it, go for it.
Exactly. Michael, what were your thoughts?
I mean, I kind of agree with like what you said, Darian. Like when they took it away from Labor Day, that it felt like it lost a little something, at least last year to me, that it didn't feel as special. But I think this year, you know, there was a little bit more excitement built behind it. I like what Fox did with the rotating, you know, third. What can I think of?
What was it?
Broadcaster,
yeah. Having Bill Elliott, Richard Petty, and Bobby Labonte cycling in and out. I thought that was pretty cool. And Darlington really has become like one of the must-see events on the schedule. I don't think it was always that way. Like, I think to when I started watching, which was 2007, around that time, the racing, I don't know, it wasn't that spectacular at that point. But now it's great side-by-side racing, sliding all over the place, you know, slide jobs. It was a good weekend, I think.
You also have to really go. I mean, I always go back to the time to the early 2000s during NASCAR's like peak years. They were thinking about moving Darlington off the schedule. So like, thank goodness they didn't do that back in the day. So because now it's 2022, we have it now, and it doesn't matter what generation of car we run on here. It always puts on spectacular racing, man. Now. Back to the to last week's racing though. Kyle Larson, he ran into some problems. That was my pick in the podcast points, and we'll get to those points later on in the show. But he runs in the problems. He spins out and then eventually blows up. And then Kyle Busch also had some. He had another interesting pit road fiasco happen to him. But let's get into the whole Larson deal, Jarrett. I mean, is it? I don't know, like, I guess some people will call this, like, oh, like, he's currently in, like, a championship hangover, a championship slump type year, or whatever, but, I don't know, is it still too early to tell? I mean, he's still driving for Hendrick at the end of the day. He's still an overall contender, in my opinion, though.
Well, he's driving well. Like, it's not like Kyle Larson was running, 25th when he blew up. It's not like when he spun out, he was spinning out because his car was so awful. So I wouldn't say the team is off per se. I think it's just that, last year past about the 10th race, everything that could go right for that team aside from the super speedways did. Whereas this year, it's like he's come back down to earth. Now, Kyle Larson's the type of driver, I think, who could rattle off 6 or 7 wins in the last 18 races, Tony Stewart style, and just blow everybody away. But if we're just going up pure results, then by definition, yeah, he is having a bit of a hangover. Speed-wise, I don't think he's that far off from last year. It's just maybe his teammates have caught up and he's not having as good luck. I think that's what it really gets chalked up to. I think he has like 4 or 5 DNFs on the year compared to, and he's still like in the top 10 in points compared to everybody else who has like 1 or 2. So I don't think it's time to hit the panic button. We have 14 races to go before the playoffs start. There's, we haven't even got half the regular season.
They already have a win too. So that's really all that matters.
Yeah. If this still happens come like the August run to the playoffs, if this team is still faltering come, Watkins Glen, Michigan, those races, then I'd start to worry. But, until we get through July, I don't think you should worry yet if you're a Larson fan.
The golden horseshoe fell out.
The one that Johnson had for years. And
his
name was Chad Knaus.
Well, I mean, really, really, if you think about it, everyone at HMS kind of forgot it this week because Chase crashed in practice. Byron, of course, got crashed. Bowman blew up, and then Larson crashed.
Yeah, so wasn't it? And I was talking about on the last show too. I'm like, oh, isn't this the time of year where Hendrick Motorsports just completely starts to dominate, and then all of a sudden all four guys just have problems and stuff once again. And
it's tweeted about them.
Yeah, it's insane.
Guys, I'm not doing anything. All I'm doing is just tweeting about stuff. That's it.
Counting, Chase Elliott going to the backup car. All four of the Hendrick cars came back crashed this weekend.
Yeah.
Like, I kid you not about Darian. There are drivers at the track who Darian will come up and try and talk to and be like, "Don't tweet about me today," like Carson Hocevar and Sam Mayer.
Yeah.
Like where they're just like, "No, leave me out of it." Even the guy who doesn't believe it.
Even Ty Gibbs said, I don't believe in jinx. I believe in God. And after the race, he's like, no jinx today, boys.
Yeah, he goes on to win and stuff, man. No, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. But
maybe you should start tweeting about 23XI, and it'll have like the reverse effect.
I did, and he was running in the top 10.
I don't know, Michael. We don't want to put a nail in the coffin.
It might get worse.
Yeah, no, we'll talk about them too because there's a few things I want to talk about with that team when we go into points and stuff. But also some other problems in the Cup race. So Kyle Busch ran into some more trouble again. And here's the thing,
didn't run into cones this time.
He didn't run into any cones, but Kyle Busch, him and his family had a very interesting week. First off, I mean, congratulations to the birth of their daughter and stuff they recently had. That was yesterday, correct?
It was yesterday. It was yesterday, and contrary to that troll that went after them this past week on Twitter, that is their kid, and I'm happy for them.
Yeah, I just wanted to briefly talk about that for a moment. Last week, leading up to the Darlington race, it was like some news reports saying that Trevor Bayne might fill in for Kyle Busch and stuff, and then you had some troll on Twitter and stuff going off saying, talking about personal stuff and all that. I'll just leave it at that. So then, fast forward to the race on Sunday, and Kyle Busch is looking like he might run into a win maybe if he kept his car clean and stuff. But then all of a sudden, he had problems. Keselowski spun out, and Keselowski, the lap car, spins out, and then nowhere for Kyle Busch to go. And Busch was running inside the top 5, I believe, at the time, correct? I think he was.
I think.
Yeah,
I believe so. He was competitive.
Yeah, he's very competitive. And whoa, holy crap. Thank you so much. Oh my God.
You read that?
Yes, hold on. I got to read that really quick. Daytona, day 500 champ 15. Thank you for the $100 super chat. I'm sorry, it's $100. I just got to get this out the way really quick. There is just something about when I see Mrucz. Wait, hold on. Dang it.
How did you just pronounce my name? Are we really going to do this again?
So, Darian, have this. Thank you so much, bro. See, I'm so self-conscious about saying it wrong, so.
It's been 3 years.
We always make time for our super chats, but when they come in like that,
you guys understand. When there's a $100 one, we got to shout it out right away. So, thank you very much. Okay, well, let's go back into the show. Kyle Busch, while running inside the top 5, has lap trouble from Brad Keselowski. And then while he's trying to go down into the pits, he realizes that he can only turn his car so much. So he can't turn it all the way to get in. So instead of running over the cones and trying to bring it into the garage area, he just says, screw it, I'm just going to park it here. Goodbye. Walks away.
I saw it as he's like, they got tow trucks for a reason.
Yeah, so I guess, Danny, we'll start off with you. Fair or foul in this? Me personally, I don't think he should get fined because, if he couldn't turn it in, then what's the point,
No, I think that's fine. If you can't drive it, you can't drive it. Don't matter how far you got it to. And I think that's better than what he did at that one race where he just almost ran people over. So I'd rather see him do that and get it towed. I mean, he parked it out of the way. It wasn't in anyone's way where it was. So I'm fine with that.
The funniest part, though, I did find it funny. They had to basically call one more caution lap. They were like, "Hey guys, we gotta move his car."
So my thing with this, if he's able to steer that through the corners onto that sharp entrance of pit road, I'm like, is he just saying that? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm glad he didn't commit vehicular cone slaughter or anything, but at the same time, it's like, dude, if it's that bad, I feel like as a professional driver, he'd know. I think it was this Kyle being like, screw it. I mean, he shouldn't get fined. I'm not going to say that,
Yeah.
but it did impede the race. They had to do that extra lap. And so it's one of those, like, if it's that bad, just park it in your pit. Like that way it's out of the way of competition. You're not slowing down the race for everybody else. Like it's a classic Kyle Busch thing, but there no penalty. Like it's something that's like a nothing burger. It's not that big a deal. I think I made like a tweet kind of like half joking, like, hey, Kyle Busch being childish on pit road, that deja vu. And people were like, he couldn't steer it. What is wrong with you? I'm like, dude, I'm just making a joke. God damn.
You made a joke on Twitter. You're not supposed to do that.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
You're not supposed to
Damn.
do that on Twitter. Come on now. But yeah, no, Kyle Busch, congratulations. He had a very interesting week, but also another contender running into trouble in the race. Ross Chastain, while battling for the lead on a restart, ends up losing it, and the Wicked Witch of the South ended up laughing somewhere probably after seeing that car.
Or cackling.
Cackling somewhere. But I guess, Michael, I'll start off with you here. I mean, just Chastain has been so dominant this year. I mean, like, is this a little something to worry about? Because, like, I feel like, yes, he has the wins, but I feel like there are certain moments where Chastain, he will just go. It's basically, I feel like there's always some races that he competes in where it's all or nothing with him, where it's like, hey, either I'm going for the win or I'm gonna crash trying. Are you starting to see a bit of a trend here, or what's the deal?
I think that's how he drives every single lap. I was listening to the Dale Jr. download. I think it was the Ricky Craven episode, and he was talking about Ross Chastain and how he's like all or nothing every single lap, and he loves that about him. But then there were some races in the Xfinity series where he was getting into it with junior motorsports drivers, and then he didn't really love it then. But yeah, I think that's just kind of who he is. He puts it all on the line every single lap, and he's going to do whatever it takes to win the race. And I mean, I like that personally. I think that's pretty cool. I think that's how it's supposed to be. I think that's how, like, what made NASCAR popular was having drivers that were just putting it all out there all the time. Yeah, I don't see a problem with it, but it could and will get him in trouble, from time to time.
Yeah, and I also I guess maybe you could also make the argument that like that type of driving style is also better suited for like this championship format, where it's like all you need is a win to get into the playoffs, and then a win to just advance to the next round and stuff, and then you're safe. So I could also understand that argument too. But Jarrett, what do you think?
See, I bring this meme up a lot, even though it's like a 20-year-old meme at this point. But Ross Chastain is, if not the Cup Series in general, is at least 2022's Leroy Jenkins, where he's just going to send it every time. So I picked him this week. And so I was kind of upset about that just with the pick side of it, but he's entertaining, and that's what I want. He's not doing anything that's egregious by any means. The guy's going out there, balls to the wall every lap, and that's exactly what we want in drivers now. So I'm completely fine with him running like that. He's got his win. He has 2 wins, I should say.
2 wins.
So go for it. You're locked in. You got basically, going into Darlington, you got 15 races to play with. So use it up, you get those points, go for wins, go for everything. Like, it makes it more fun seeing a driver like Ross Chastain than a driver who's going to ride around for 250 laps. So I love it.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, you're still stuck with 2 wins and currently tied for the points lead.
Yeah.
I think it also has a lot to do, like, how he drives has a lot to do with just the way his career has gone. Like, he's had to fight and claw for every opportunity and to get where he is now. I think it's pretty impressive where he started and just some of the teams he's driven for to be here now and to be tied for the playoff points lead. Something's working.
Yeah, it's just crazy. He goes from an underdog to a contender. Not overnight, but I mean, there were parts in his career where it's like you thought he was about to jump with a big team, then something gets in the way. So now everything basically comes full circle, man. Now he's out here competing for the Cup Series championship. Like, who would have thought that back in 2018 that Chastain would be a championship contender in 2022? Like, not too many people were saying that, man.
I definitely know someone who drives a 4-car who didn't think that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, that's right.
Darlington.
He's at that very track. He had said that he wouldn't last very long, but yeah, look at that. Now he's chasing him in points, so it's funny how that works. But really, I mean, like, the cars were basically on edge all day too, man. I mean, they were just like something about this next gen too on certain tracks where it's like some of these tracks, like the next gen, it meshes perfectly with it, and Darlington was one of them. I don't know, like, Jared, what do you like? Do you think that like the extra shifting definitely had a role in like how this race played out as well?
I mean, it might have with like getting runs out the corner and stuff, but I think what was the really big factor in this was, because we commented on how the cars look like they're just slipping and sliding everywhere. You had Ross Chastain, one of the most talented drivers, spinning out. I think what it is you got a car like the next gen that's harder to drive. Goodyear bringing a good tire, and you got a surface in Darlington that's finally aged. I mean, they have that like repaved strip in turns 1 and 2, but at the same time, the rest of the track surface is, I want to say, 14 years old. It was repaved going, I believe, into 2008. Could have been 2007, though. I think it was 2008. So, I mean, I think it just all meshes really well together, and it's hit that sweet spot as a track.
I know. So, sorry, really quick. Sorry, the itinerary had disappeared on me for a moment. I was looking at that for a moment. Okay, now we're back on track. But yeah, no, anyways.
How long you been doing this?
Dude, it's just, I don't know. Sometimes
we're in
the
our
itinerary
5th year.
Disappears, bro. I don't know. Sometimes you have different things popping up. But yeah, overall, I thought the race was awesome. The ending was also a very interesting ending too. We'll get to the main beef momentarily, but
yeah,
Truex had a big one as well. So Martin Truex Jr. is just he can't. I don't know. It's just the last 2 races he's just been running into problems here, just left and right or whatever. But he hasn't. He does not have a win yet though. Correct? Truex does. No. Right? Okay.
No.
So that'll be interesting to see. But Toyota, yeah, they definitely had a very mixed weekend, that's for sure. But the main beef though, Logano versus Byron. Let's get into it. That final lap there, or those final laps. I guess to go over the full story, William Byron and Joey Logano were duking it out on the restart. Byron sort of uses up Logano, I guess.
Can you even say that?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I don't know. He used them up, I guess. Let's just put it that way on the restart. He uses them up a little bit. Logano goes into the wall just a tad there. And then it looked like Byron was just going to scoot to a victory and stuff, too. I mean, he was out front by a ton. And then all of a sudden, we get back into the long runs. Logano catches right back up to him. And then, coming to the white flag, he just straight up punts him out of the way, coming off of turn 4, and scores the victory. Byron didn't even finish inside the top 10, y'all. He ended up finishing 13th. So, it caused a ruckus after the race on social media and stuff. Oh man, and then the crowd reaction too was absolutely. I wish Eric would have been on for this week, because then he can go into full detail of what the atmosphere was like, because he was there. So we'll have to talk with him about that later on. But Danny, I'll start off with you, man. Just whose side are you on here? Was Logano's move, was that fair, or do you think Byron has one coming for him?
I didn't like it. Logano was faster. He was going to win that race, but he didn't have to win it that way. That's just my overall thoughts of it. I would have rather have seen him try to make the pass coming down the front straightaway, or I think even everyone else would have liked more to see, maybe a retry of the Craven Kurt Busch finish.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. We could have gotten one of those types of finishes, but wasn't meant to be, I guess.
I think Byron was definitely losing it there. I think Logano definitely had the faster car. I mean, I think, Yeah, Logano should have won, but Byron didn't need to finish 13th. He could have finished second, third.
Byron deserved to finish inside the top 2. Let's just put it that way. Like he was running up there, called the perfect strategy. He wasn't dominant neither. He didn't lead a whole lot of laps, I don't think. I mean, he just happened to be up in front towards the end of those stages. He happened to be inside the top 5.
Well, yeah, who was the most dominant cars? Like Ross Chastain, Kyle Larson, and they all had problems?
Well, Larson, no, I mean, he had problems early. Larson was looking really fast at first.
He was the fastest car in the first stage.
Yeah.
Then Chastain was. And then after that, I mean, I think I tweeted after Chastain spun, I'm like, I don't care who's the fastest car. Like, this thing's wide open.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I believe Logano led the most laps.
Yes.
I've got it up.
So,
he led 107. And
yeah, it didn't feel like it.
Next highest was 42, so...
Whoa. Yeah, it didn't feel like he was that, but I guess he was the most dominant. But yeah, it didn't feel like it though. But I guess that just goes back to the parody of this next gen. But Michael, was that move fair or foul?
That was such an overreaction. I mean, that restart, come on. There was racing. Did they even touch? I think I could still see
They were
space
close.
in between giggles, as I call them, in the wall.
You're racing on one of the most narrow tracks in all of NASCAR.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Well, okay. It looks wide, but with the way the apron is like, the apron's almost invisible at Darlington, I always say. Mm-hmm. So really the actual racing surface is really, really narrow.
Yeah, he would have won anyway because he was catching him. He was running him down so fast right there at the end. He could have easily passed him before the checkered flag, but we've seen this story before, and that's how this happened. We all remember Kansas 2015. That's just how he races. It's like coming down to the wire. He doesn't handle the pressure well, and he just has to dump someone to win.
Well, even the Clash, I think I kind of remember. Didn't he do a bump and run on Busch there? It's been a while, so I can't really remember.
He did move him a little bit, yeah, just to get the win.
I'm not as much upset. Like I shouldn't say I'm upset. I'm not upset at all. I don't have as much issue with, bumping somebody out of the way. Yeah, that's NASCAR in general. That's
stock car racing.
Yeah, that's stock car racing. It's been done for years. I have problems with both sides, and I have like attaboys for both sides. The Logano one, the punishment didn't justify the crime per se. I say that very loosely.
Crime.
Like,
what was his crime? Just racing hard.
Racing hard. I mean, it's
How
like
dare you?
That's why Logano is the literally like the other side of the coin of Martin Truex Jr. Whereas Truex just complains on the radio, Logano takes your ass out. Yeah. No, but I think for me, I think Logano could have at least attempted to pass him, but I think the reason that he would hit someone like him, but I know he wouldn't hit a Ross Chastain or a Kyle Busch like that unless given a shot, is because I think Joey Logano knows he can take advantage of William Byron. William Byron has not had a moment of showing that he can stand up for himself, that don't mess with this guy. And I think right now, as I said in my video earlier this week, I think William Byron is at a bit of a crossroads in his career, not contractually, not in wins or anything like that, but I think that he needs to prove to Logano and in turn the rest of the competition that it's like, hey, you can't just walk all over me. He can't fall into that same vein of a Martin Truex Jr. There's a reason that Joey Logano did it to Truex. There's a reason he attempted it with Kenseth for so long and ultimately paid the price and in turn lost the championship from it. See, I'm not saying that Byron needs to Kenseth Logano. I'm not saying that.
But he does need to stick up for himself.
Yes, he does. He does. And it doesn't have to be this week, doesn't have to be at the All-Star race, but there's got to be a point where he just puts his foot down and he proves to the garage, fans, everyone in the NASCAR world, like, don't F with me.
Well, the way he handled the post-race stuff, that was a good start. I mean, like, Noah Lewis, our good buddy Noah Lewis, had caught a couple of things during the post-race.
But that was raw. That was, that emotional. Was raw.
Yeah, well, of course. But, I mean, like, at the same time, he wanted to show, like, yeah, I'm definitely not happy with this and stuff. And I'm quite sure that won't happen again to him. I don't think he'll let that happen.
He gave a more PG version of Denny Hamlin's thoughts on Alex Bowman after Martinsville, in my opinion.
No, like just his post-race interview with Jamie Little, like it was just like the way he was saying is like, oh, he's an idiot. This is the only way he can win and stuff. It was just straight up. It was and he was just being straight up. He was being honest. I'm like, yes, like William Byron, like that was like the last response I would have expected him to have, because up to this point he's just really been like, while he's been like viewed as like one of the young up-and-comers, you know, with one of the most beloved teams in Hendrick Motorsports as well, just signed an extension. Everyone knows how talented William Byron is, but, you know, he's just never the type of guy where, you know, like, his he's never the type of guy personality-wise that'll get a lot of people talking on social media and stuff, but, like, this weekend proved I was totally wrong about that. Like, he was just straight up like, yeah, it was terrible racing, he sucks, blah, 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 and honestly, like, in my opinion, I think he's jumped his popularity has jumped a tad overnight just off of calling out Logano, basically, just saying like, hey,
I mean having a feud with an unpopular driver can really do that for you.
Driving for Hendrick helps too.
We saw this with Chase Elliott back when Dale Jr. was still racing, so he wasn't, Chase Elliott back then. He was just, Chase Elliott. He's driving a 24 car. He's Bill's son. But we saw him gain a lot of popularity when he had run-ins with Denny Hamlin. And even, I'll say, Alex Bowman picked up a lot more fans after his incident with Denny Hamlin as well.
Yeah, so...
Now, I want to say this. I said this on Twitter, and it went, like, immediately, like, to number one in hashtag NASCAR. If this was roles reversed, or even just any other driver, and it was William Byron doing this, fans would be eating this.
Oh yeah,
go Byron, you go, kid.
And I said that too.
Exactly.
It all depends on who's doing the bumping. Like, I mean, Rubbing's racing and stuff. I get all that, but again, it all depends on who's doing it. If you're Logano doing it, it's bad. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I want to see competitive, like, clean racing for the most part, especially on the final lap. Like, so, like, so for me personally, if the roles were reversed, I would be calling out Byron too. Like, hey, come on, like, I know, like, that's not, like, I want to
hey, Jarrett's not wrong though. I mean, like, y'all see what shirt I got on. I mean, after Coda, I should have been pissed at the way Bowman lost that race, but I wasn't, because I liked the driver who won. So Jarrett's not wrong on that.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's wrong for fans to think that way. I'm just saying it's like, it's always fun watching the hypocritical water cooler talk after the race, and how if it was I don't know. I'm trying to think of drivers that people don't have strong opinions on, but nowadays people actually have really strong opinions on most of the drivers.
Yeah.
Let's say this is, I don't know, Kurt Busch gets moved out of the way by
Chase Briscoe.
Chase Briscoe. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. If Chase Briscoe moves Kurt Busch out of the way, you're going to have some of the older school fans being upset with it, but it's going to be like, hey, that's Rubbin's racing. That's great, man. Yeah. But then, you'll have a little back and forth, but it won't be too big a thing. If you have Chase Elliott move Joey Logano out of the way, it's going to be like, yeah, he deserves it. Send him to frickin' Georgia at this rate. And then if you have the complete other reaction this week, I find it interesting and fun, and just, it's entertaining to watch. Like, as someone who does not have any stake in this game, it is so fun to watch people go at it.
Hey, I like this fantasy here. Paul Menard moves Cole Custer.
It's vanilla moving vanilla.
Yeah. I mean, what was also kind of lost in this whole feud was, like, I don't know. I found Bill Elliott's commentating on that last lap to be some of the funniest commentating ever. Like, because again, like, the whole context with him, Bill Elliott is one of NASCAR's cleanest drivers ever. Hall of Famer. Mm-hmm. He always raced insanely clean out there. And then all of a sudden he sees Logano punt Byron, and all he has to say is "Wow." Wow.
He was not impressed.
He just said one word. Like, that's all he said.
Could you imagine if that would have been Chase in that situation and Bill was commentating?
That would have been must-see TV right there. But I mean, like, I don't know. You could tell Bill Elliott wanted to say more, but he's just like, all right, you know what?
I mean, people have said it before, but I'll say it now. Guys like Bill Elliott and Mark Martin wouldn't survive today.
They wouldn't.
They wouldn't.
No.
Because the drivers, like, It is a bit, and make of this what you will. I personally think it's a bit of deterioration of driver etiquette out there. Drivers aren't going to take care of them.
That doesn't exist.
Yeah, they're not going to take care of each other. Now, if this is 10 years ago, back in 2012, I remember a race as a Dale Jr. fan. It was the second Michigan race. Jr. went 4 wide on at Michigan underneath Jeff Gordon, and Gordon was mad because it was too early to be doing that. So you can see the clear difference now as those older drivers now have left. It's amazing to see the night and day contrast between the two. And we talked a bit earlier about Elliott versus Hamlin and a couple of these other feuds. It was like 2017 to like 2020. That was like that middle period where that was the period where you had a lot of these guys that were falling away or retiring or whatever. And it's just, it's amazing to kind of see the metamorphosis that drivers have had when it comes to the mentality now. And then you have a few holdovers like Martin Truex Jr. who get mad because they're getting raced hard.
He's trying to hang
he's trying. he's trying, but the results are slowly but surely going down.
So
thank goodness he has his championship already.
My thoughts are, a lot of the reason we feel like the driver etiquette is going away is we see a lot more urgency from the younger drivers. When they first come in, 2018, we'll call it that. It's like, okay, yeah, welcome to sport. This will be fun for a little while. Well, if you're in good equipment, you're not winning consistently, i.e. Daniel Suarez, Eric Jones, you're disposable. You're disposable,
Early William Byron. I mean, Byron was called a bust until last year.
I hate to say this, if Byron didn't have that Liberty University sponsorship keeping him secure, they could have bumped up Bowman a little bit more and moved on to Noah Gragson,
I mean, look at Cole Custer right now, the way we're all viewing him. I mean, Cole Custer was like some of the hottest stuff on the market now, coming up from Xfinity.
He's been so forgettable, man. And he has been now this podcast,
if
default bad driver,
If he hadn't had Haas literally his whole career, I'd be more concerned. Because he's had Haas his whole career behind him, I think he's okay.
He'll be okay.
I don't know.
You got to think about who his dad is.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why he's a part of the team in the first place. So how could you fire him?
Maybe we might have another like that coming up in the next year or two. Maybe. Although I will say, all jokes aside about Riley Herbst, like he has been performing better.
Yeah,
Herbst
has
lot
been.
Better.
Yeah, he's been performing a lot better this year. Yeah, I'll give him that.
Like I want to say it was about this time a year ago I was ranting about Riley Herbst, and he has picked up the wick on his performance. I think he's like 5 straight races at one point. Like it might still be. Whatever, 5 straight races at top 10s. We'll get into Xfinity later. We'll get into that.
We'll talk about that later. But
Jared's clearly picking Riley Herbst this weekend. We already know.
Oh, totally. I know. I'm picking him to be the best Xfinity driver sitting at home this week.
Yeah, but that was basically the Cup race in a nutshell. Joey Logano now has 28 career Cup Series wins.
Do you know? So he tied 2 drivers this weekend.
Oh, he did
on the all-time wins list. He is currently tied for 29th with Rex White, who is a major pioneer of the sport, and Carl Edwards.
Oh, dang. Damn.
So that's
interesting. If you remember 2016, if you remember that.
That was a good year.
Yeah, I bet you. I bet you.
I have great memories of that year.
And Jay, who did we all root for in 2016, guys?
I rooted for a driver for half the year.
Yeah, for just half the year.
Well, I'm doing the math in my head right now, and I believe this is the 14th year for Logano. Correct me, Chad, if I'm wrong. And Carl Edwards was in for 13. So they're but this is early in the 14th year. So he's about at the same rate as Carl Edwards was in his career. I think that's a very comparable driver.
That's good.
That's good. But we just were talking a little bit about who Joey Logano's went into. Next up to hit on the list at 31 wins is Martin Truex Jr.
Oh, he's about to. Oh gosh, yeah.
And who's gonna win the war?
Oh, totally Joey. Yeah. I mean, he won it in 2018 too.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for that outcome.
But yeah, so that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah,
but
thanks for pulling those stats up.
Darian, what's the playoff cut line look
Yes,
like right now?
the playoff cut line now, 14 races left to go in the regular season. Here are 13th through 16th, the guys who are on the in right now. Christopher Bell plus 41 in 13th. Kevin Harvick plus 27 in 14th. Eric Almirola plus 25 in 15th. And in 16th at plus 1 is Austin Dillon. And then on the outside looking in, his teammate Tyler Reddick is minus 1. Eric Jones minus 5. He had a very solid weekend. Daniel Suarez is now minus 18. Chris Buescher minus 36. Justin Haley minus 44. Kurt Busch minus 54. And in 23rd, Michael McDowell minus 56. And for those who are asking, so Bubba Wallace is now 24th below Michael McDowell in points. So
he's also more than a race behind in points.
Yeah.
So Austin Dillon in the same equipment. Because they have the technical alliance.
So,
or no, right now I'm thinking he's
you're
in
thinking
the
of track it. You're thinking of,
I'm sorry, 2311's been so forgettable this year. The only time you see him was when he crashes.
Yeah.
He was running top 10, but that didn't matter.
At this point, Bubba's got to have Atlanta and Daytona circled.
Well, also at this point too, what can go wrong has gone wrong for 2311. Like obviously at one point, I was just like, oh, here we go. It's going to be another bad race. Kurt Busch in the 45, they almost lost the wheel again. They caught it last minute. So thankfully they caught that. And then at one point in the race, you have both of their cars finally running inside the top 10. I'm like, okay, here we go. There we go. They're doing good again. And then bam, they both crash. So it's always something.
And here's the deal. People, I've saw a lot of people talk about, when people bring up points of being like, it's too early to be talking about points. It's too early to talk about this. Like, it's still really early on.
No, it's not.
This
like
week is
there.
halfway. Yeah, this week's halfway. So
Yeah.
it's like what we're seeing right now, this is going to be the battle we're looking at through the summer. I mean, I will say, I want to say right now, Christopher Bell has had a marvelous turnaround so far this year.
Yes.
I think Eric brought attention to it last week.
At one point, he was outside of the top 30 at one point, right?
He was, yes.
Yeah.
And now he's coming back.
Because I think when we had this discussion early on, I think we were all pretty much saying Christopher Bell is who I'd be more worried about between him and Hamlin. But honestly, without Hamlin's win, I think Bell would be ahead of Hamlin right now.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
And I keep seeing Eric Almirola. I know he gained a few points on the line, but he lost a spot to Kevin Harvick.
Yeah.
Harvick and Almirola, they're in that 8th to 12th range. Like, that's good enough to make the playoffs as long as nothing too crazy
But
happens.
also,
this is a crazy year.
But also, though, it made me realize, too, Stewart-Haas Racing, even with the next gen, they're not as strong as they used to be. I know Chase Briscoe has a win, but outside of that win, even he hasn't really been running up front like that anymore, So doesn't that win feel like it's kind of weird? Like, where did that come from with the way they run? I mean, like, it was at a skill-based track at like Phoenix, so like, yeah, you have to give him his props, but still, like, that was just like a one-time deal for the most part.
And then meanwhile, Cole Custer is getting out and saying, guys, I finished better than my car number.
Yeah, Cole,
there's only 40 cars.
On a good week.
Yeah, Cole Custer is guaranteed to finish better than his car number. Just fun fact on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. But yeah, Cole Custer has been forgettable. But hey, shout out to Eric Jones, man. Eric Jones, that was one of my underdog picks from last week. He had won it at Darlington before, and he got that 43 car up inside the top 5 consistently, and running mostly inside the top 10 as well. He's only 5 points behind. So hey, I said, look, if you go back to earlier in the season, there was like a few races where he had DNF. Take one of those DNFs away, and he's in the point standings by a solid margin. So he just needs to keep doing what he's doing, man. Just clicking off, just finishing those races, whether it's inside the top 15. Like, even a top 15 finish, like, even him finishing inside the top 15 very consistently, I think could even point his way into the playoffs. So just needs to keep doing that.
And I see some, there's been a few in the chat, and this is always a question of, hey, we might have more than 16 winners. I don't think so.
No.
I think we can get close. I think we could have like 14.
Like, I like 13 or 12 for me personally.
13, 12, 13, 14.
About like last year. We're on track, honestly, for what we saw last year.
Yeah.
I would personally say, I think, again, if one of these guys like a Jones or a Suarez wins, Bubba wins at Atlanta, for instance, then cut 25 points off everybody above, and you got Christopher Bell back in that. So I personally think the guys right above the cut line, Bell, Harvick, Almirola, Dillon, they're going to be in the thick of this until they get a win or not. And then Reddick, Jones, Suarez, I think is it. I don't think Buescher or Haley can keep up. Personally.
I think a win is still coming for Tyler Reddick, and even Austin Dillon might sneak one in there.
But Tyler Reddick, man, dude, again, just another guy who hasn't had the luck. I mean, he would be solidly, he would be locked into the playoffs if he had just beat Kyle Busch by a few more feet at Dirt Bristol on that
or if Chase Briscoe had just not drove like an idiot there in that last turn.
And then also if he didn't DNF at Talladega and then a few other places there and there. Like, he's just minus 1 point behind Austin Dillon. I mean, don't get me wrong, Austin Dillon, like, I know, like, he gets, disrespected sometimes because, like, rich kid coming from, silver spoon-fed family, blah, 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 all that stuff. Like, I've heard all that stuff before, but he's a pretty solid driver in my opinion, though. Like, he doesn't have, like, too many wins, but he's still pretty solid. So, I don't know. I feel like Tyler Reddick, like, he should be way, way ahead of Austin Dillon, though. That's the thing. That's just how much, like, bad luck he's had this year. So, I think he can point his way in easily. And I think I even had Austin Dillon in the playoffs, like, at the, for preseason playoff picks and stuff. So I think both RCR cars can solidly point their way in, but it's just a matter of finding some luck on their side. But their affiliates, though, Trackhouse, they're not having any sort of Trackhouse is who are they affiliated with now, Trackhouse?
But they were Hendrick.
Excuse me, sorry. They were affiliated with them last year.
Maybe not. I don't know. They're with one of the Chevy teams.
Yeah.
I thought it was RCR.
Yeah. I'll have to check on that.
Either way, they're looking good. So.
Yes.
But, well, I have a question. When do we start questioning Daniel Suarez with how Ross Chastain is running?
Well, see, I had brought that up, but I mean, here's the thing. Ross Chastain is just so damn good. And I don't know. I feel like Daniel Suarez, he's not doing terrible. I mean, look at the points.
He's not terrible.
He's only minus 18. It's just Ross Chastain is just really, really good.
He's still almost 20th in points, though.
Yeah.
It's his Ross Chastain's first year with the team, and he's smoking him. He's up in the top 5 every week.
Yeah.
What's going wrong?
It's just the story of Suarez's career. Everywhere he goes, there's just somebody way better on the team,
Like the same thing happened at Gibbs. It just never happened. So how long do you give it?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I mean, I'd give him at least 2 more years, personally.
Yeah.
I give him 1. I mean,
he's running out of time.
I know he'll get more, but I always compare Trackhouse's team and drivers to 2311's team and drivers. In all honesty, and I mean, if I got to put Daniel Suarez versus Bubba Wallace, like I'll give Suarez 2 more years, but Bubba, even though I know he'll probably get 2 or 3 years, I'd honestly only give him 1 at this point.
I think the thing with Suarez is, and I see this, like, we have so many different drivers around this range where people are like, if they can just get good luck, but that luck isn't.
That can only go so far. We
can only do woulda, coulda, shoulda so long. We've said on here before. I mean, Darian, the first year or 2 of this show, you had a running joke about Daniel Suarez. Like,
yeah,
it's just like a gravitational pull to mediocre. And it doesn't matter if he's running well, the finishes don't show up. Or if he runs bad, he then get better finishes. It's always a gravitational pull to 20th with Suarez. And then every now and then he'll be a little over or a little under. How long does Trackhouse, go, man, let's just keep sticking with them when there's other free agents that could be out there or younger drivers.
And they'll want to drive for them now. Like, seeing how Chastain's performing, I feel like that second Trackhouse seat is now, that's one of the most desired seats in the sport now.
You could have said the same thing about Casey Mears, what you're saying about Suarez. Now you can say the same thing about Casey Mears 2007 at Hendrick. Dude had horrible luck. If half of his bad luck had been good luck and he'd gotten the finishes he deserves, he makes probably the chase that year. But he didn't. It's a what if.
a lot of people are drawing a comparison to Matt DiBenedetto, and I think that's honestly, little far off.
He's better.
But I will say though, we know Suarez is good, obviously winning an Xfinity Series championship, but I mean, he was with JGR, literally anyone in one of their cars could win it too. So,
Right.
Yeah, the way I see it, I see it the same way Corvette Racing 48 says. If Suarez doesn't get a win by the end of next year,
Yeah.
you gotta get someone different.
I mean, this is now Suarez has been in the Cup Series this is now his 6th full-time season. Still no win yet.
This is a perfect team for Gregson to fit in my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
Like a Gregson.
there is other talent that's in the, it's coming up that want a spot. And, this goes back to what I was just saying about, the younger drivers got to drive like with the idea that their job is on the line. And I think at this point we've seen all the Hendrick guys kind of cement their place where they need to be for a while. But some of the other guys, you can't say that. I mean, you just look at Eric Jones. He had it all and then didn't put up the results that Joe Gibbs wanted, and they went on to the next rookie in line. And that's what they got to start thinking too.
So the chat did confirm that, yes, Trackhouse, they are an RCR affiliate. So another RCR affiliated team, the Petty team with Ty Dillon and Eric Jones. I mean, if we're going to talk about, possible replacements for that second car, if we're going to just stick to affiliated teams,
Jones.
I would love to see Eric Jones in that second car. I would love to see him in that second car to see what he could do.
He is outperforming his equipment more than I think anyone else out there. And maybe Trackhouse equipment is Suarez level.
But also a little shout out to Ty Dillon as well. He surprised me a tad bit as well too. He's doing pretty good, decent.
But that's been of late. No, like Eric Jones he's been fast enough, and even with bad luck, currently is sitting above Daniel Suarez.
Yeah.
So he is someone who has went above and beyond. He's the best driver in that car since Eric Almirola, like in 20. God, what year? What was the last year that Eric Almirola was like a bubble cutoff line driver? Like 2015 or 14?
Yeah, around there. Well, 2014 he ended up making the playoffs because he won that rain shortened race at
Daytona.
So
I mean,
2015, I believe.
I major props to Eric Jones on that. But yeah, that's my take of pretty much everybody around that cutoff line.
Yeah.
For the most part, I think it's going to be a battle between 13th to 19th all the way there.
And also, really quick shout out to Justin Haley. Be on the lookout for him too. He ran up front for a little bit during the Darlington race, so look out for colleague racing. Maybe.
Well, I mean, let's be fair. He navigated through the wreck that took out half the field.
True. Yeah, I just wanted to point out he did run in the top 5 at one point though.
I saw someone asking what happened to Camping World's sponsorship of Suarez. I think honestly they just had other sponsors step up that wanted it. I mean, the Tootsie's Bar, they got like 7 races this year as compared to 1, so they just had more sponsors step in. Yeah. Camping World, I don't want to say this in a bad way, but it seemed like, especially last year, they had that program where basically they would sponsor any unsponsored truck in a truck series. Yeah. So they almost just kind of step in to help, it felt like.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But anyways, moving on to the ratings. Let's go over the ratings this weekend. It was a very interesting weekend for American motorsports fans. Not only did we have NASCAR Throwback Weekend at Darlington, we also had the inaugural F1 Miami GP going on at the exact same time. So
side note, did y'all see the price of them hats down there?
Yes, that's F1, bro. Dude, the tickets are expensive, the food's expensive, the water's like $30 at these events, something like that.
They're basically like, welcome to F1, bend over.
Yeah. So if you're looking for affordable prices to go to a race, F1, you're not going to find them there.
Welcome to F1. Give me your wallet and have a good time.
And your firstborn.
But looking at the ratings, though, so let's go over the NASCAR ratings first. The weekend, the Cup Series race ended up scoring a 1.45 rating, and also had 2.6 million viewers. So it's minus 15%.
From last year.
Last year, okay. I just want to make sure. So it's minus 15% from last year. Now this is a very important statistic as well. The ratings for the 18 to 49 demographic. This is very interesting. So for the NASCAR race, it had 517,000 watching in that demographic. For F1's race, it had 735,000. Now there are some reasons for that too, because the F1 race was on ABC while the Darlington race was on the little itty bitty FS1, not Fox. And I'm glad Jarrett put in these statistics because the last 3 races NASCAR had on Fox, these were the ratings in the 18 to 49 demographic. For Richmond, you had just over 800,000 tune in. For Dirt Bristol, you had nearly 1 million for that. And finally, for Talladega, you had 830,000. So, Jarrett, what you start us off here first because you put those stats in. What does that say about this? About NASCAR's like whole TV situation here? I mean, like more races on Fox, perhaps.
I mean, they're stuck in the deal that they signed for another 2.5 years. Like NASCAR is in a bit of a pickle in the sense that, we're still operating off of 2012 thinking with this deal. Yeah. So I don't see anything changing in the next 2 years or so, but I want to strike a bit of a balance here. I don't want to be too doom and gloom because, if everyone remembers before this week, everyone's like, oh my God, the ratings are so up this year. Woohoo. Yeah. But at the same time, like this should concern NASCAR itself. If you're a racing fan, watch what you like. I personally am not huge into F1. I'm trying to get into it. I've been trying for this is my 4th year trying to. I can't get into it.
Out of the entire podcast panel, I was the first to get into it and stuff off of Drive to Survive and stuff. And I've been trying to, but like I could also get like why you guys aren't as into it because again, you had said this earlier in the show. The on-track product speaks for itself.
Yes. So I'll talk about that in a second. But what I would say is like. This is a similar, it's virtually the same size audience. I think NASCAR beat out F1 by 30,000 viewers, which is about how many people were at Darlington. So I personally, if I am thinking of the long-term future of NASCAR versus F1, F1 has a huge advantage in every possible aspect. I put in the 18 to 49 demo for Fox, but you got to remember all those races had over 4 million viewers compared to F1's 2.58 million viewers. What's the difference from between F1 and NASCAR? And this is why, I can't get into F1 as much as F1 is glitz and glamour. It is celebrities,
the big stars, the big names.
I think it was Deanna from the Relap channel. We had her on last year. I think I saw her on Twitter. It might've been somebody else. I don't want to put words into someone's mouth if it wasn't, but I saw that it was like the off track storylines overshadowed the on track, whereas NASCAR, it's the on-track stuff is overshadowed most of the off-track.
Yeah, like the stuff that was trending from the F1 Miami race was stuff like, Tom Brady and Michael Jordan dabbing each other up, stuff like
Patrick
that.
Mahomes.
The Patrick, Martin Brundle confusing that Duke player for Patrick Mahomes.
I love this in the chat. Y'all are really on the F1 bandwagon. I'm like, I literally just said I can't get into it, but sure, you believe what you want. Yeah, but people saying, this is great. If you combine it together, we had over 5 million people watching motorsports. It's like, no, there's crossover.
Yeah.
F1 is dug into NASCAR's audience, and it is a problem for NASCAR.
When you take, and again, 18 to 49 is a huge age range. When you take both of those categories, it's less than 20% of the audience for NASCAR was in that age range, which is still crazy to think about. But even then, for the F1, that's only it's better, but it's only 28%. And granted, our numbers don't compare to these, so you take everything with a grain of salt. I've done this math on mine. I think I've figured out age 13 to 45 was like 77% of my audience. If NASCAR, if any motorsports was getting that kind of percentage, that's great for the future. At this point, we're barely getting people our age. 17 to 49, I would hope it would be bigger than that, but it's really not for either of them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even though it is 28 to basically 19-20%, it's like that's still a vast difference that can be built up over time. F1 is. There's some things you can say about this too that aren't for worry. This is an F1 race. This is one of 2 or 3 that's in America.
There's one more this year, and then there's going to be 3 next year.
Yeah. So this isn't something that's going to be every single week. It is going to be a kind of event like deal. But at the same time, the fact that we're having this conversation even probably 2 years ago would seem alien.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a very realistic possibility that when F1 races in America, it's going to be the number 1 motorsport over NASCAR that week.
Yeah.
So I don't think that people who are, I won't say NASCAR fans, but I don't think people in the NASCAR industry are at least they're not giving off the gravity that this does hold for NASCAR over time. I mean, I get people are like, oh, a rising tide will lift up, and that might be a big thing with it. But at the same time, if you're being passed as the number 1 in your area or your different section, that's still not a good thing. You're still getting beat. So
it's not a good thing. And
it's not the sky is falling. NASCAR still right now is in a much more stable spot than it was 5 years ago. I'm not going to say that it wasn't. It's not at a free fall anymore. But at the same time, like NASCAR needs to get its act together, or it will play second fiddle to F1 in America.
Hey, even though Fox is basically forcing them to play second fiddle, at least they're not the USFL.
Yeah, dude, that's another thing too. Fox Sports keeps promoting the USFL, and then Clipboard is like, yeah, how about the Michigan Panthers? I'm like, wait, the team that Jeff Fisher coaches? I'm like, nobody watches this anymore.
Okay, so they cut off the truck race coverage really early, really quick. And I didn't know more about the details of USFL. I didn't realize that every game is played in Birmingham, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So you're starting Philadelphia versus Michigan, 10 o'clock p.m. in Birmingham, Alabama. And it looked like a COVID game. It looked worse than a COVID game.
It's crazy. But back to the ratings and stuff. I mean, like, look, at this point, there's just so many factors that have led us to this point to where F1, like, hey, they're starting to give NASCAR a bit of a run for its money in terms of the ratings demographics and stuff. Like, I mean, F1's video game is absolutely phenomenal. The closest thing to a good NASCAR game we have is about to be made by IDK Player. I'm sorry, and that's just the truth. I'm sorry. Like, look, Ignition was terrible, but hey, look, like it was, but that game
goes a long way.
It was so bad though that IDK Player basically said, "All right, I'm just going to create my own game." So look, that says it all right there. And then also F1, like you said, Jared, the glitz and the glamour and stuff. Like, look, F1, its racing product, I do find it like somewhat entertaining to. It can be entertaining and stuff, but obviously from growing up as a stock car fan and stuff, my personal favorite is always going to be stock cars. Don't get me wrong, I love watching IndyCar and F1 racing, but stock car racing for me, that's my personal bread and butter. You know what I mean? So. But the way that they just market themselves though, like they just like
that's all that it is.
Lewis Hamilton had said this on Good Morning America last weekend. He was like, I would always come to America and stuff, and I just couldn't understand why more people just weren't into Formula One like that. And I had thought about that for a little while too as well. But then now, Liberty Media comes in, and all of a sudden they just know how to market the sport to the masses out here in this country. And now it's starting to get a bit of a following. Like, look, even my little brother, who's not even into sports like that, he even asked me who Lando Norris was and stuff, because he had saw Lando Norris streaming and stuff. And he's like, hey, is this like some race car driver or something like that? So look, the drivers know how to market themselves, which in return helps put more eyes on the sport in general. And then F1 knows how to market themselves. So overall, I think NASCAR, they just have to step up their game and stuff too. I mean, it said, I don't know, like, I just found it fitting that Throwback Weekend was on this particular weekend, because it's like, look, while NASCAR's throwing it back to the past, like, hey, like, look at this, like, hey, look at this scheme, it used to look good, it used to race back in the day and stuff. F1, I feel like, is like moving in a different direction. They're innovating a bit more. Not saying NASCAR hasn't made any steps to innovate its sport, but look, F1,
I get it.
The F1 is on a totally different level when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm.
I think Formula One, it's like the perfect marketing package. I mean,
it's glitz, it's worldwide, world championship.
Yeah, and you think about it, every track gets one race.
Mhm.
Every
I
track
was about
is an
to say.
event.
It's new, yeah. It comes to the
And
country. Mhm.
they have 20 drivers. That's a hell of a lot easier to market than 40 plus. You know, they showcase their personalities, who they are. You know, every single driver in that field. They're showing during the broadcast, they're checking in on all 20 of them at some point. And with what they've done with Netflix, it feels like they're the trendy, that they know exactly what their product is. They know how to deliver it. And NASCAR, I don't know. It always feels like they're 5-10 years behind where they need to be.
Well, I think this is kind of an interesting comment here I see in our chat. Augustin Solly said, hey, new NASCAR fan here coming from F1. NASCAR is racing. F1 is pure drama and show. Racing is quite boring there.
Yeah, I also see that aspect too. It's just, again, it's just the way that they have marketed themselves, though. You know?
They sell the drama.
Yeah,
that's what you're
even if the
tuning in
drama's
for.
real or not, they still sell it though. That's what they do, you know. And honestly, I mean, again, you can also go back to the whole broadcasting deal and stuff too. Also playing into effect, like, you know, you get this whole goofy, you know, atmosphere on NASCAR and Fox, while F1's broadcasting team is more serious.
It's so much better. Mm-hmm. It's just so much more pleasant to watch. Like, I like Clint Boyer. I liked him when he was racing. I liked him when he first got into the booth, but it's getting to the point where it's like this redneck, over the top.
And they tell him to do that too, because when he decides to be an analyst, he's a very good analyst. Like, I think he's a lot better. He's a lot smarter than people give him credit for. But Fox, they want him to play that role of like, yeehaw, look at there.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm sorry. Like, look, that type of stuff would have worked in like the early 2000s when you were at your peak and stuff. But like, they're still trying these bits from like the early 2000s, man. Like, it's not gonna fly today, man. And they know that. I think they heard a lot of the criticism. That's why I feel like, you know, they had done a couple of pre-race shows up in person for Talladega and for Dirt Bristol. I think that had something to do with it to an extent. And then they kind of just went back to the old boring pre-race shows from like the Charlotte area. So look.
But we can talk about that more later.
Let's talk about that more later. But
let's talk about how the fans thought about this one, Jared.
Yeah, I was just about to say. I just want to point that out. In conclusion, we'll see how that all shakes out and stuff for the future of racing in America. But let's move on really quick, Jarrett. Let's move on to the poll, the famous iceberg poll. Jarrett, was this a new poll record or no? No poll record.
No. No. Wait till the second half of the year.
Gotcha.
So we had about 15,000 votes this week. So thank you guys for voting. 41% each said that it was great and good. So 82% of you thought positively of this race. 12% of you said it was an average race. 2% said below average, and 3% said bad. So we're sitting at 5% negative. Looking, you know, we always wait till the end for the first one, and then we go to a negative one. Let's do it. First comment right now. Who do you think did it?
First comment. Oh, we're going to change it up. Positive or negative?
Yeah, positive or negative is Denny delivers. The return of the king.
Negative.
Neutral. It's a meme.
What do you think, Michael?
I guess I'll go positive.
All right. He says Kyle Busch comes to a stop before going behind pit wall. ... Flashbacks of 3 counts of cone murder.
Again,
it was a meme. Damn,
neutral. It's a meme.
You're right.
Yes.
Neutral. That's right.
So looking at some of these comments here, I'll go through a couple before we get to the fun negative ones. IREX Rampage says, as a William Byron fan, worst race ever. As an objective fan, one of Darlington's best races. I'd agree. I'd say it's definitely up there. Tank Slapper says, Darlington sure lived up to its reputation. Only 23 cars finishing is rare in modern non-super speedway NASCAR. I agree there. Mm-hmm. Jacob Hale says, I just wanted to see Jeff Gordon's paint scheme back in victory lane. I asked for so little. Great race. Kind of going down a little bit away from the top voted ones. Tanner Wilburn says 9 out of 10. Joey can't win a race unless it's a bad aero package, stupid track conditions, or running into a guy. Joey Logano doesn't get 28 wins off.
Yeah, like I know you hate him, but come on, give him some props.
He forgot rain. The first one.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Jam_plays_game says, as a diehard William Byron fan, I had zero issues with what Logano did. Great race. Well, I like the objectivity.
Okay. Hey, I like that. Hey,
Okay, a little different.
That's cool.
Will says, Darlington is the best track in NASCAR. Consistently puts on a great race.
One of the best, definitely.
Let's see. Yeah, we have more people saying great race. Jonathan Zorline says, crazy to think that Hendrick Motorsports still hasn't won at Darlington since 2012. I wonder who won that one.
Oh, I remember.
That was the last time they won there? Holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a minute.
Yep.
Wow.
I mean, they were close. I think Junior finished second in 14.
He did.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, they haven't won since then. I'm going to scroll down a bit because I want to see the ultra negative. There's been more comments put in since
of course.
I loaded it up. Towards the bottom, people are just like, Joey, Dale, Earnhardt, Logano. How did Haley get third? Good, since HMS driver didn't win. Meh. And then the bottom one is from Stuff R Us. Says, idiot move by Logano. That's all he put. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we had a ton of interesting comments, of course. But is that it? Is that it for the poll?
That's it, buddy.
Thank you guys for once again commenting on the famous iceberg poll on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. So really quick, we have a couple more races to just glance over, and then we'll go into super chats.
Really, there's not much to say on either of these.
I was just about to say, so for the Xfinity Series race, I was at the fairgrounds. I didn't see a single lap of it, so
it was good.
Yeah. So
it was.
Yeah. Wow. What was it like?
So it was very racy. It was kind of like the Xfinity races at Darlington last year. It was a JRM show. I mean, Justin Allgaier was the class of the field, even if he didn't lead every lap. He went from the back and made his way up to the front, and he did so at like an insane clip. And what was different about him versus everyone else is everyone was trying to ride the wall, where he was kind of dominating the corner and driving the track differently. It was really interesting to see the difference of driving styles this week. Again, another great thing about Darlington is you can drive the track differently depending on what your driving style is. So it's pretty fun.
Side note, shout out to all of us except Eric picking Chase Elliott, who wasn't even in the race.
Yeah, Chase Elliott missed, y'all. Guys, like even the chat, guys, we lost points too. F's in the chat, y'all.
So Eric got the win by default in that one.
Yeah, so we had lost some points. Everybody did. So that's funny. But as for the truck race, man, Carson Hocevar, man, when will he catch it? When will he catch a break, man?
I don't know, Darian. When will you stop tweeting?
I didn't tweet about him this time, though, man.
No, but you thought about tweeting.
Stop thinking about drivers.
Oh my gosh! But Carson Hocevar, he's been a driver I've been very high on for a while. But Eric had told us that he had found out that him and his teammate Ross Chastain, they had identical setups. So looking back, I didn't know that. I didn't even know Chastain was racing in the Truck Series race at the time. Looking back,
I didn't either.
I probably should have either picked Chastain or Hocevar for that. I mean, Chastain, he was competing for the win until that final restart. But yeah, man, just Carson Hocevar, man, he is gonna be a stud. But hey, congrats to John Hunter Nemechek. Oh yeah, and also some very interesting post race stuff as well.
So I want to say this. The note we have here, a beer or something was thrown at John Hunter Nemechek. I've harped on this all I can. What more do we need to say? Just go back to victory lane interviews.
Gee, you think after, the whole, let's go run situation at Talladega, you think that would be the thing that
it's gonna take. And I hate to say it. If Bubba Wallace gets a win, that's not rain. If it ends up like Jeff Gordon 2004 Talladega, that's what it's going to take at this point.
Look, it's going to take something like really bad to happen because the whole the whole Brendan Brown situation that sucked because I mean, that could very well be his first and only career, win in NASCAR, and it's always going to be remembered for that, unfortunately. And then now you have some douchebag throwing something in the stands, and that was a full beer can.
He did get arrested. I found out later.
Okay, good.
Reddit.
Great.
Yeah, I found out on NASCAR Reddit later. There was I think it was a woman that was sitting near him, and he basically was swarmed by police trying to leave. So
good.
But yeah, it's like how many. Yeah, how many times are we going to have something happen on the front stretch for it to be like, maybe front stretch interviews should be like stuff that happens organically, like if a car breaks or if it's just in the moment or a championship, like make it special kind of thing.
You know what I liked? Like, organic moments like that. For a while, Carl Edwards was going up into the crowd and like celebrating with them for a little bit. That was organic fan engagement.
Yeah.
We don't have to force it.
Look, I miss Victory Lane interviews so much. It's just it's so weird seeing them do the interviews and then go into commercial, and then right as they come back from commercial, you see the driver celebrating. I'm like, no, we should be coming back from commercial to see the driver celebrating live, and then you
NBC, NBC, are you listening?
Yeah, look, hey, NBC, this is your chance, NBC Sports. You have a chance to capitalize.
Dell Jr., we know you can hear us. Save us.
Yeah, just save us, guys. Save us from all this trouble, because I guarantee you
there's
going to be a post-race that goes really bad, and then on that very day, you're going to be wishing to go back to Victory Lane interviews. So
I mean, I'm waiting for the day I see it every single week. That cameraman that has to run out there.
Yeah,
the driver doing the burnout cannot possibly see them.
I'm scared they're gonna get hit sometime.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, the drivers, they're in the moment. They had just won, and then all of a sudden, boom, they hit a camera.
They just hire a man with a death wish. It's like, hey, you want to go run in? You want to go run in front of a car with 700 horsepower? Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Well, what kind of stuff do you get? Any like padding or anything, or you just like get to tell them like, no, just run into the smoke and hope for the best.
Yeah.
And by the way, that camera costs like over $3,000, and if you break it, you're buying
Don't drop it.
Don't drop the camera neither. And also, one final thing from the race: Matt Crafton got excuse me.
He got DQ'd.
Yeah, he got DQ'd. I was about to say DNQ'd. I'm like, no, he's not Norm Benning. Come on now. He got DQ'd.
Oh, low.
Very low blow. I'm sorry, guys. Crucify me in the chat. Very low blow. But anyways, Matt Crafton got DQ'd from his 5th place finish in that race for his truck being too low. So
hey, shout out to the Onion, 9th place. Todd Bodine.
Oh, that's
Yes,
right.
sir.
That's right. He got a top 10. Wow, that's right. Hey, welcome back to Todd Bodine. As Junior called him back in the 90s, cue ball. That's what he said, not me. But hey, shout out to him, bro. He's a legend. Todd Bodine is for sure. Anyways, that'll do it for our race reviews. Right now, we are at that point in the show where I'm about to read super chats from viewers like you. Thank you for funding me on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast.
I'll get you a timer. Let me get it pulled up here.
Thank you, buddy. All right.
I'll mute myself because I need to go turn something off real quick.
Okay, let me know when the timer starts, and I will get started.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right, let's begin. Eugene Krabs with a $10 super chat. If you're looking for a business that hates Harvick, come on down to the Krusty Krab. We have finally retire Harvick fries, boo Harvick burgers, and boo doo-doo head Harvick dumplings. Also, Brooks burgers. Awesome. Yeah, the Harvick hate continues. I see. Jar Jar Binks with the $2 super chat. Misa thinks DB is a mama great. Boo boo doo doo head KH. Kevin Harvick. Wait, who's DB? Who would DB be? Matt?
Me?
No, would it be, is it Danny B? Is that what he means? I don't know. Clarify for us in the chat later. Jar Jar Binks is my hero with the $1 super chat. Thanks, man. And then Clone Racing with the $2 super chat. Hope to run into you guys at Gateway. God bless. I believe you'll run into a couple of us from the podcast there for sure. Yes, I'll keep that. So keep that in mind. Isaac with the $2 super chats. Thanks, man. First one says Logano is a more dirty racer than Chick Hicks. Yeah, that's debatable. That's debatable right there. And also, Logano is more likable than Jar Jar Binks. Hey, if you guys say, depending on who you ask in the chat, I think they'll agree with you. So, but I appreciate it. Twisted_nipples with the $20 super chat. I love that, man. Thanks. He says, Jimmy!
Jemai!
Panel of YouTube goats tonight. Thanks to all of you for the awesome content to watch on the road. 48 fan for life here. So glad to see Michael join the show. I've stolen half your Cup driver nicknames. Yeah, 'cause you have a bunch of nicknames for drivers. I see you. Yeah, that's
I think I got one for all of them.
Groovy Goose with the $5 super chat. What's happening, everybody? Michael watches Driven for the first time here. Spin the UFO. Honk. Yeah, you gotta watch Driven for one of your videos. That's a good video. That'd be a good movie to make fun of. Really.
Oh no, I know. Yeah, I know what movie you're talking about.
Yeah. Firefly 13 with the $5 super chat. I didn't know that Big Machine had a racing team. Yep. But now I have a new team to root against. What did they do?
What did they do?
Whoa, hold on, almost done. What they did to Tyler after she made them is disgusting. Taylor after she made them is disgusting. Wait, what? I don't know. There's a backstory to this. I don't know what
Taylor
it is,
Swift. I'm sorry that I know that.
Yeah, I don't know. Could you explain more of that for us?
Big Machine is a record label here in Nashville.
Oh, got you. Okay. All right. Well, I got time for a few more super chats.
You got 10 seconds. You got one.
All right. One more time. Got a little time for one more super chat. GN with the $2 super chat. Michael, thoughts on Jimmy's IndyCar career?
Time.
Texas was good.
Wow, that's your only memory. Texas was
basically the ovals.
Texas Motor Speedway. That's his best memory.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nice when he reset his wrist crashing for a second time.
Isn't Ed Carpenter the one that only runs ovals?
Yeah,
I kind of want him to take that route. I thought things were turning around at the end of last season on those road courses. He was starting to run a little bit
He's just
better,
having fun.
but
He's just having fun at this point.
Yeah.
But on the ovals, though, I feel like the ovals he can definitely podium though. That's where his talent really shines for sure. If y'all saw him
looking forward to the Indy 500.
Yeah, the Indy 500, he looked very promising in the first couple of days of testing. So
don't jinx him.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, you keep his name out of your mouth.
But anyways,
I am driving 11 hours to go and see that race in person just for him. You do not talk about him.
Keep his name out your effing mouth.
But anyways, that'll do it for super chats for now. I will read the rest at the very end of the show. Thank you guys so much. But really quick, before we move on to the lightning round, this edition of the NASCAR Weekly Podcast is brought to you by Lionel Racing, the official diecast of NASCAR. Order the new 2022 diecast of your favorite NASCAR driver now at LionelRacing.com or and any authorized Lionel retailer. So let's get into it now.
That is a new one for Jarrett.
Yeah, Jarrett, you start us off, man. That looks great.
It's from one of the best drivers in NASCAR, Kevin Harvick.
Our chat loves him so much.
Oh yes, totally. I like this car because I'll be real. It looks really good. It looks a lot better than the Millennial car. And I saw it at Daytona back in 2020 in August, and I was like, I need to have this one. So I have it now, and maybe it'll give good vibes for Harvick, and he'll win this week because our chat loves Harvick.
Yes, they love him. They love him.
I mean, I love all the different
one
things.
I got.
Oh,
like, gnarly.
Yeah. Michael, what do you have?
I got Jamai's IndyCar. Just talking about him, so
nice.
There it is. That's the I have other ones, but this is the closest one I have.
Yes, that's really nice. There was that from last year or this year? I don't know. I think that's
I don't know. I think it looks last year.
It's just Jemai.
It's just Jemai.
I see Jemai. I buy.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. Danny.
So I took a trip to East Tennessee this weekend to see my family, but along the way, I stopped into JP's NASCAR outlet in Crossville, Tennessee, and I picked up something that I have never had in my collection until now. This big chunker.
Whoa.
1/18 scale Jeff Gordon, 2002. He had quite a few 1/18 scale options, and I debated between a couple of them. I came down to a 2003 Dale Jr. and this one, but but something about just the nostalgia of these flames, because Jeff Gordon originally was the first driver I started rooting for in NASCAR when I started watching. Something about the look of this classic DuPont Flames look just has always appealed to me. And this thing is huge. Until you actually get one, you don't appreciate the amount of detail that goes into such a massive car like this, and they weigh a ton.
Huge car.
Did anybody else feel like some kind of way seeing that 24 this weekend? Like, that brought me back.
Oh, I loved it. Yeah,
that was a really good looking car.
Yeah, even on the next gens with the number not center. I mean, it still looked good, in my opinion. This is definitely the most random car out of the four of us. David Gilliland's rookie car, or no, he wasn't a rookie that year actually. No, never mind. So
in 07?
I don't know. It doesn't have the rookie stripes on the back.
Then it'd be 07 because he had the rookie stripes in 06.
Oh, that's right. Yes. So his from his only full-time not his only full-time season, but his first full-time season with Robert Yates Racing in 2007. This was the year before Eminem switched over to Kyle Busch. So David Gilliland at the time, he was being hyped up as like one of the next big things and stuff, even though in reality he was just a journeyman driver who happened to win a Busch race at Kentucky in 2006, and then all of a sudden Robert Yates is like, boom, he's the future. Gets rid of Elliott Sadler, and boom, he's in the ride. So David Gilliland, to me, he's a very interesting driver. I don't know whether to label him as either a random driver or a NASCAR bust. So let me know down in the chat, and I'll get a video on one of those topics. But yep, this is David Gilliland's M&M's car from 2007. Definitely one of the most random cars in my collection for sure.
Daytona 500 pole winner, right?
Oh,
there.
That's right. Yes, he did win the Daytona 500 pole. So hey, there you go. Adds a little something to it. And Robert Yates, him and Ricky Rudd, actually, they were on the front row for that year's 500. So very interesting. But anyways, that segment of the NASCAR Weekly Podcast was brought to you by Lionel Racing. Don't miss Lionel Racing's NASCAR Authentics diecast at a Walmart near you.
Hey, Darian.
Mm-hmm.
Are you feeling something?
I don't know. It feels a little cold out here. Feels a little cold. But no, wait, no. Now it's starting to get a little hot. Now I'm starting to get some shivers. Now I'm starting to get some shivers again. And it's the lightning round on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. Jarrett, what do we have on tap for tonight?
I should warn everyone right now, if I'm fidgeting around, it's because it's back into the 90s up here. It's 82 in the garage and the fly is back. So just letting everybody know.
Oh, man, you want the fly.
Yeah,
the fly's back. That's right.
Well, there's only a couple things, but they are relatively big things. Number one is that William Byron has signed a 3-year extension with Hendrick Motorsports through 2025. Then there is something for any of you wanting to go to the 2023 Daytona 500 because Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has signed a tax break for Daytona 500 tickets to not have a sales tax included on them, according to the Daytona Beach News Journal. So expect ticket prices to be raised about 8.5% or however much it was. Chase Elliott will be racing at Sharon Raceway for the SRX season finale this summer. And Ghost, the band Ghost, is pre-selling a Bailey Curry style number 4 Ghost car on a t-shirt with the lead singer, and it's called the Papa Driver t-shirt. It's on their website right now. If you want to get that, it doesn't have Eric's Out of the Groove on it, but it has all the Ghost logos and everything. Really good.
I do expect a certain 6'7" guy to get one of those.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
But as for that, that is the lightning round. I look like I've been struck by lightning. I'm so red because I'm sweating out here.
But anyways, that'll do it for this edition of the lightning round on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. And now, back to the show.
Oh, and then the lightning round is also brought to you by Forney Industries. Get it done with green. Forney offers a full line of welding and plasma cutting machines, metalworking accessories, and more for do-it-yourselfers all the way to professional metalworkers. Trust me, I'm neither of those, but Forney has everything for all of you for your next project. So shop Forney's top-of-the-line products at forneyind.com. We're an authorized Forney industry dealer near you. That is FORNEYIND.com for an authorized or an authorized Forney dealer near you. Darian, what do we got next?
Dang. So I was about to say, do we have any sort of news next? But then I checked the itinerary and basically nothing. Like, hey guys, sorry, we tried to find more stuff to talk about, but hey, it's just slow news week. What can I tell you? So instead of more news to talk about, we are going to go straight into podcast picks and the race preview as well. This weekend we are racing at Kansas, the one and only Kansas Speedway. Jarrett, you've been there in person. What is it like being there? I've never been there before.
It is a very, very nice track. They renovated it in 2012 with the repave. The infield is top of the line, a lot newer than certain other track that I love from 2001. But outside of it's really good. It's just altogether a very top of the line facility. Great fans, usually pretty good racing. So I have high hopes this week, personally.
Yeah, we'll see what happens for sure. So let's go over all three races. There's going to be a truck, Xfinity, and...
Two races.
I'm sorry. Two races. Sorry about that.
How long you been doing this?
Sorry about that. I thought I saw three. Leave me alone, Mike. But anyways, the Kansas weekend preview. So the name for the NASCAR Truck Series race is called the Heart of America 200, 134 laps in total. The start time is 8 p.m. Eastern Time on FS1 and MRN radio. The weather for Saturday is 85 degrees, intervals of of sun and clouds. 7% chance of rain, so not too much to worry about. And the defending race winner is Kyle Busch. As for the Cup race on Sunday, the Advent Health 400, 267 laps total. Start time for that race is 3 p.m. on FS1/MRN radio. 78 degrees, morning showers with a 70% chance of rain, however. Defending race winner is also Kyle Busch, and in the booth this weekend is going to be Jamie McMurray. And also, before we get into the picks and stuff, let's go over the betting odds for this weekend's race. Darian's betting odds on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. And the odds are very, very close, and you'll see why in a second. First through fourth on this list are basically tied in terms of favorites. Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, and Chase Elliott. All four of them are entering this weekend at plus 700 odds to win. So Vegas, they thinks very highly of these four. So if you want to place a bet for these four to win, they might be surefire picks. And then in fifth, the last of the favorites is William Byron at plus 1,000. Excuse me. And as for the best of the rest, Ross Chastain and Martin Truex Jr. are also plus 1,000, and then Joey Logano is sitting at the last spot in the best of the rest at plus 1,200. So Vegas, they think there's going to be a lot of competitive racers this weekend, and hey, I don't blame them. That's a pretty stacked list. As for the underdogs, though, Christopher Bell at plus 2,000, Chase Briscoe plus 3,000, Eric Jones plus 3,500, Austin Cindric plus 6,000, and this is a really long shot, but y'all saw how he performed at Dover, so he might be able to kick it up a notch anywhere. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. enters this weekend at plus 15,000 odds to win. So, hey, we saw what he did at Dover, but hey, I don't know if he can do that at Kansas. But
how do you sell that to your sponsors?
I don't know. Like, hey, I'm a plus 1,500 odds to win.
So it's interesting.
15,000.
It's interesting going into this race. This is the first race we've had on a track in this kind of configuration since what, Las Vegas?
Yep. First mile and a half we've seen in a while. So, and we loved the product on the mile and a half with the next gen. So we'll see how they race this weekend. But really quick, before we get into picks, one last thing. The NASCAR Weekly Podcast fantasy standings. So really quick, the top five. 24 for life is now the points leader. He is only 4 points ahead of second place runner Trevor Sports 98. In third, not too far back, is Toyota Tough. In fourth is 48 Nation. And rounding out the top five is UGR2. So a very competitive battle in the podcast, in the fantasy pick points. On for the NASCAR Weekly Podcast Fantasy League. But for the podcast pick points, it's close. Well, at least for some, it's close. I guess let's just put it that way. It's a pretty close battle amongst the top two right now.
It's a battle for the bottom too. I mean,
yeah. I'll point that out in a little bit too. But so Eric Estep currently has a total of 204 points so far this season, and in second, not too far behind him, is the chat. You guys, the chat, -6. So just imagine if Elliot had actually raced and stuff, it would be a whole lot closer then.
It'd be -1 because since all of us picked the same one, we all would have got second.
Yeah.
5 extra points.
So, hey, let's hope that doesn't come back to haunt us, especially the chat, since you guys are so close. Right now, rounding out the podium, I am currently P3 -25, so I'm not too far back, but I'm not as close as the chat, of course. So, but then in 4th and 5th place spot, it's a totally different story. But guess what? The good news is Danny's outside the basement as he's in P4. The bad news is he's not too far out. He's currently in 4th at -60, and Jarrett, the defending podcast points pick champion, is -62 in 5th.
So what happened here is I got off the couch in the basement to go check the laundry, and Jarrett just laid down and take a nap in the basement now.
Basically. Yeah.
I got my championship. Who cares?
Well, I'm about to ask, is there any way you can get this season turned around, boys? I mean, we still got a bit of a ways to go. You think you can turn around?
I got you right where I want you.
As old Norm Benning would say, he's got him right where he wants him. Exactly.
As my Uncle Rick would say.
But hey, look, if I were Jarrett, I wouldn't care either. He already has his championship, so he can afford to have a bad season.
This was the weekend last year that set me off into the summer because I picked Kyle Busch in both races. So
and he was gone from there, and nobody could seem to catch him. So guys, just sweeping. If you can sweep a weekend, you can get a lot of points. Let's just put it that way. But anyways, those are the pick points. Let's go over the pick order really quick. So Jarrett.
I'll talk for Eric.
So yeah, Jarrett's gonna talk for Eric. I'll go second. Danny third. Jarrett fourth. Michael, you're going to be the guest pick. And for this year's points, for the points in the podcast picks, we don't count the guest picks, but basically you're going to be like a cup driver racing in Xfinity, if that makes sense. So you're going to take some points away.
Oh,
but we're not really going to count you though. So, but hey, you can still make an effect in the championship because who was it? Jeff Favignano we had on. He picked Hamlin to win.
Yep.
So, and then took away some of the max points for us. So yeah, you can still make it fun. You could be like Jimmy Johnson leeching in Xfinity, only you would actually have a better chance of winning in Xfinity race.
I mean, could Michael?
I can't argue with that.
Could Michael theoretically just pick Jimmy Johnson? I mean,
but don't pick Jimmy Johnson. He's not racing.
I mean,
but I want to.
No,
you never know when they need a backup driver and he's the only option.
No. Pick a real driver, please. But anyways, all right, let's get right into it, y'all. The first pick of the night, the Truck Series race. Who is going to win? Jarrett, you have Eric's pick. Who's going to win?
Eric has picked someone who's tried, true, and tested when it comes to these types of tracks, and that is John Hunter Nemechek.
Yes, I was about to pick John Hunter Nemechek. I was about to say Hummer Nemechek. John Hunter Nemechek as well.
It's me now. I'm not used to this.
No, that's right. That's right.
I am going a little bit more risky, and this 17 truck has proved that they can do it when some people are different in it. And hey, he's impressed me in the Xfinity Series. I think he can show up and steal a truck win. I'm going to say Riley Herbst, actually.
Wow. I need to make up some spots, so I'm going to go with the tried, true, tested pick 2 of John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, I'll probably regret that one, but
Michael,
I am currently looking up my picks Twitter because he posted something earlier. I'll see if I can find it. Of course, it's not coming. Basically, he posted a picture of his truck saying all in, like it's the win or he's wrecking. Carson Hocevar.
I saw that too. Yeah, Carson Hocevar. So chat, who will you guys be picking? Oh wait, hold on. I see I saw a couple of Haley Deegan. Wait, guys, chat. You better
Do
be
it.
careful.
I dare you.
Chat, you better be careful, y'all. Y'all better be
Yeah. I'm actually saying like,
yeah, I'm seeing a
look here.
couple. Hey. Oh wait, well no, now it's the same two guys. I don't know if I can count.
There's,
I'm
18s.
saying more for the 18.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot for the 18.
Well, here's the thing. They were going John Hunter Nemechek till we picked. This is why the chat picks last, is so that you guys have the advantage and not picking the same as us.
Okay, give him Chandler Smith. I see a lot of it.
So let's
All
see.
right.
Yeah, I see a lot of 18. So Chandler Smith it is, y'all. Y'all, I know. I see MVR who's like trying to pick Deegan so bad. He's trying to ruin y'all's chances in the chat there. Oh my gosh. All right, so now on to Cup Series picks. Who is going to suck? Jarrett, speaking for Eric, start us off.
Eric didn't put in dark horse or suck picks.
Oh, he
We'll
did.
do
Oh,
it.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
so
okay.
If you're gone, you don't need to put those
Okay.
in. So Darren, you're up.
All right, so who's gonna suck? I mean, he's a long shot for a reason. He's plus 1,500 to, or no, excuse me, plus 15,000 to win the Ricky Stenhouse Jr. It is.
He might have won here back in 2019, but this team is not at the point where it needs to be. Brad Keselowski.
I'm going to go with somebody who really didn't perform too hot at Vegas, hasn't been too good overall. Even after having the hottest start anyone could have in the first race of the year. I'm going Austin Cindric as my suck pick.
Michael,
it kind of took mine.
you can pick this.
Well, you can reuse that.
When in doubt, go with Cole Custer.
Oh, perfect. Cole Custer.
Oh my gosh, poor guy.
If there's anything that's a guarantee in this world, it's that Cole Custer's going to run
Man,
bad.
I hope he runs better.
It is a toss-up between the 41 and 11, but I'm seeing more 41.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of 41s.
Oh my God.
It is. It's a 41. Might as well give him Custer. Man. Thank goodness like the suck picks aren't for any like sort of points, because if you keep getting the suck picks right, it's like Cole Custer is an easy guaranteed points day every day. Guaranteed good points day.
We're just going for a good points day out there,
Yeah. Oh man. So now moving on to underdogs. So I will go first. My underdog pick this weekend. I spoke highly of him last weekend. He stepped up to the plate. To get some of those points. He's -5 right now, but man, Eric Jones, watch out. He's gonna get another top 10. I'll even say ball prediction too. He'll run inside the top 5 for some of the races. Ooh, that's how much I think of him. Highly I think of him. So Eric Jones.
I'm going to say for my underdog pick, I'm going to say he was really good here back in 2018, but it didn't work out. But he's having a solid season so far this year. I'm going to say Eric Almirola could be a dark horse for a top 5, maybe flirt with a win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with somebody who has sat in that bottom half of the top 10 level at Kansas for a while. Somebody who's done the same at Las Vegas this year, and in general just has done this year. This guy could have a flare up, but I don't see him, competing for a win. But I think he could easily get a top 10. Austin Dillon.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
Jim,
my lover.
He's not out there, unfortunately. Who do I want to pick? Well, I guess he would be considered an underdog since he doesn't have a win yet in his career. Tyler Reddick.
That's a good one. You sure you want to pick him though? Because if you pick him now, you can't pick him to win. Remember that.
I got someone else.
Okay. Just making sure. All right, so Tyler Reddick it is. And then the chat, looks like they're going with Tyler Reddick as well. So, hey, chat, remember.
We're in sync tonight.
Yeah, so, hey, chat, just letting y'all know, y'all can't pick him to win. If you pick, well, I'm seeing a lot of 99s too, but it looks like it's from the same person.
It's a lot of 8s.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I see a lot of Reddick. Just give him Reddick as their underdog.
Okay.
Okay, and now for the main event. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win at Kansas? Oh, yeah, I'm going first. Damn.
No, you're not.
Well, no, Eric is.
Oh, wait, never mind. That's right. Eric
Yeah.
is picking this time. Okay. Eric's picking. Go ahead.
Obligatory. How long have you been doing this?
I know. It's
So we're going to keep on the Tyler Reddick train, but just one cart forward on it, as Eric is picking him to win this race.
Wait, who did you pick? I'm sorry.
You said Tyler Reddick.
Tyler Reddick. Okay, sorry. I don't know why. I just didn't catch it at all. It kind of blinked out for a second. Okay, so Tyler Reddick. Wow. I mean, hey,
Darian's sitting there rebooting while
See,
I'm giving
I was thinking of my pick, and then all of a sudden I was like, he's like, I couldn't hear at all.
I'll give you this. If someone wants to meme it, as there's the freaking fly. What you can do is while I'm giving the pick, zoom in on Darian's square and just have like the Windows restart sound play, and then he goes, "I'm sorry, I wasn't listening." What?
I either that or the Jimmy Neutron thing where he goes, "Funny monkey, ha ha ha."
But anyway, so hey, Eric's picking Tyler Reddick. All right, we'll see how that works. So I will pick for my win pick. I mean, he's not like the most favorable guy, but I mean, dude, he's been pretty good all year. He's been fast everywhere, it seems like. Ross Chastain gets win number 3 this weekend at Kansas. I feel like he's just going to rip the hell out of that high lane and just scoot on with the victory. So, Ross Chastain.
He's having statistically one of his best seasons. He needs some redemption here for a couple times where he's been close. And he won the last track like this. Go Hack!
Alex Bowman. Yeah, there we go. Alex Bowman.
Well, I'm going to stick in the Hendrick family with this one, but this guy led, I think, over 200 laps last year here. He had a great car, just didn't have it all go right for him at Las Vegas. We talked about him earlier. He has been inconsistent, but when he's good, he's really good. I'm going to go Kyle Larson on this one.
Michael.
Moobs. Yeah.
I mean,
don't wear it out.
There's still a great person in the 48, Michael.
Yeah. I miss the old guy. I think Larson, he needs to turn it around. He needs to get that golden horseshoe stuck back up his ass. It's somewhere. It's in the Hendrick Motorsport stable somewhere. They just got to find it.
Being tossed around like a hot potato.
Like Jamai had it, and then he bestowed it upon Chase, and then it was stolen from Chase by Kyle last year, and now nobody knows where it went. Yeah, Kyle.
All right, chat. Who are y'all picking? I saw a lot of 9s. A lot of 18s.
Elliott.
I say Taco Bell. They got to vote.
Yeah, I see a lot of Elliott's and a lot of Kyle
it's been Elliott like the whole time, and it's not been the same.
I mean, I see a lot of 18s. I see a lot of 18.
Yeah, I see some 18s.
I would do a poll between 18 and 9. To be honest,
Elliott versus KFB. It is.
Poll.
Poll.
Yeah, let it run.
Answer me.
Let it run during the super chat.
So I will put it in really quick, and then I will read the last of these super chats. Give me a second, guys. But yeah, no, chat is pretty clear. They want one of those two. Okay. So let me
obviously the two most popular drivers.
So Paul. All right,
one of them.
Let's see. 9 and 18. Okay. Let's go. And is the poll up? Yes, it is up right now. So that'll conclude race picks. I'm going to read the rest of the super chats I had gotten. Appreciate you guys giving me all the super chats. Thank you so much. All right, let's scroll all the way down. Here we go. All right, let's start again. Gordon, the Big Engine, with a $10 super chat. As a Logano fan, I will admit what he did was dirty, but honestly, did you expect anything else? Good point.
Nope.
Joey using the bumper is as expected as James bringing about his splendid red paint. James bringing about his splendid red. That's a reference to something. I don't know what it is.
It's Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh, dang it! Because of the
he's Gordon.
Duh, that's right. Okay, got you. I didn't watch too much Thomas the Tank Engine growing up, but thank you for clarifying that. Gavin Adcock with the $5 super chat. I don't want to sound rude, but did anyone actually expect Logano not to bump Byron out of the way? I mean, like, look. People weren't surprised, but they were just disappointed, I guess. I guess you could say. And Mortal with the $5 super chat. I feel like when Darian yells the lightning round, he is going Super Saiyan. Saiyan. Oh man, yeah, yeah. No, I'm crazy with it, man. I just scream a bunch. I just scream a lot with it. Andrew Mayer with the $5 super chat. Kyle Busch enter the Darlington garage area normally challenge. Impossible, very hard. Yeah, when you can't turn the car, it's definitely impossible for sure.
If the garage was at the end of the pit lane, he would have made it.
Melon Smasher won with the $5 super chat. Happy Jar Jar Appreciation Month, everyone, and congrats to Joey on the win. And just gotta remind everyone, Ratatouille is overrated.
Oh, I picked the wrong one to say that.
Oh man, Eric's not here. He's not here to say. Oh my gosh, they're not letting him forget that too. That's funny. Leon's Automotive with the $2 super chat. Shah though. Wait, hold on. It says Shadow _ 1202 Racing. Oh, I don't know. I guess he's telling somebody happy birthday, but I'm not sure what this is in reference to. It just says shout out to the number 12 Odie's Racing Group, happy birthday. So must be some group, I guess he's shouting out. So happy birthday to whoever's in that group. Irvin Alvarado with a $10 super chat. Darlington having 2 dates. Was due to the pandemic as at this point NASCAR returned after the lockdown. I'm glad that this track has a resurgence with good racing and a classic track with history. Hey, I agree 100%. And of course, day 500 Champ 15. Thanks for the $100 super chat you sent earlier. Appreciate it. Ryan with the $10 super chat. Would have been nice to see the 24 in victory lane, considering Jeff Gordon being a 7-time Darlington winner, with 6 of those being Southern 500 wins. Yeah, it would have been nice, but Logano said nope. Corvette Racing 48 with a $5 super chat. Byron cleared by Logano. Maybe no. Byron takes him out. Logano on the wall. Caution comes out and the crowd roars. Hey, one can only wish.
Not trying to interrupt, but I think you can go ahead and end the poll. I think it's pretty clear now.
Oh, wait, hold on. I haven't even seen it. Hold on. Let me refresh really quick. We'll see who won this one. Hold on. Let it refresh. It's Elliott. Yes, it is. So we'll end the poll.
Oh, what a shock.
Yeah, shocker. What a shock, y'all. But yeah, so Elliott, that's y'all's pick. No going back now. Nova Stone 12 with the $2 super chat. I would wait for cutoff race for payback if I'm William Byron. Yeah, in the playoffs, yeah. I mean, he could wait. He could wait that long. Yeah, I wouldn't blame him. And then Barrett Carpenter with the $2 super chat. F1 went from San Marino GP to Scam Marina GP.
Whoa.
I see what you did there.
Whoa.
I don't know. He said it was a scam or something, so I don't know.
No,
just let him get to it.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait, I don't. What is it?
Just keep going. Just keep going.
You'll see.
Keep going.
All right, I'll see you later. Sorry, I didn't know what
keep
it was
going.
referencing.
You'll know.
Leon's Automotive with the $5 super chat. Oh, this is just another shout out to the Odie's Racing Group. Okay. Yep. And Nova Stone 12 with the $5 super chat. I hear about F1 being great, but then I watch and the race was boring. People complain about NASCAR races being spread out, but okay with it in F1. I guess like people they're okay. Some fans are okay with it because I guess the races are shorter. Maybe that's why. But I don't know. It's all based on personal preference. I personally prefer stock car racing, but hey, others prefer open wheel racing. Preston Frails with the $2 super chat. Chevy is going to have to put Noah in Cup. Yeah, pretty soon. Yeah, he's performing pretty well. So, yeah, they'll have to do that for sure. And then Xavier Castro with the $10 and $5 super chat. Thanks, man. I think the biggest problem with F1 versus NASCAR is the drivers. Lando Norris is on the late night show. Lewis Hamilton was on Good Morning America. NASCAR drivers are just too bland to corporate America. He's got a point to a certain extent. Yeah, I could see that to a certain extent. And then the last super chat from him. Last time a NASCAR driver was on Good Morning America, Kyle Larson talking about his incident. NASCAR drivers just don't attract the mainstream anymore. Yeah, he's got a point. I can understand that to an extent, definitely. And let's see, a few more super chats. Let's see, oh, now I see it. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. Dude, we got way more. Oh my gosh, now I see it again. Dude, day 500 champ again with the $100 super chat. Holy crap, thanks, man. You know what? How about we end the night right tonight? LOL. Hey, I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it.
Now you know what I was
now
saying.
I see it. I got you. I thought it was something bad for a second. I'm like, oh god, what'd I do now? No, I appreciate it, bro. And then Jacob the King with the $2 super chat says, Mrucz! That's what it says.
Well, that's you said it right.
Yeah, I know.
You learned.
Isaac with the $2 super chat. Wizard of Oz remake with Teresa Earnhardt as Wicked Witch. Oh, man. 670 HP package win with the $5 super chat. I'm hoping for the 99 to get the luck he needs. Yeah, we'll see if he can get it turned around. Groovy Goose with the $2 super chat. Boris said, Amber Heard, spin the UFO. Jarrett. Yep, spin the UFO, buddy. And then Jake Owens with the $5 super chat. Michael's second favorite driver in the booth this weekend. Is that your second favorite?
No,
Okay.
I freaking hate him. It's a long story. Don't get me started.
Yeah. Gotta watch the content to understand. Definitely.
Yeah.
Firefly13 with the $5 super chat. Swift. Okay. Taylor Swift built Big Machine from the ground, but then the CEO sold her song rights without allowing her to buy them and forcing her to re-record her music. Oh, dang, that sucks. Dang, I didn't know. Okay, now I see. I understand why you root against them now. Then, okay, I don't blame you. I don't really have a rooting interest either way. So, and then Slay Supersonic with a $10 super chat. Hi, BFM, Danny B, and Iceberg. Not no hello to Mrucz, but hi everyone else. Sorry, I didn't watch the last week. My dad passed away. Oh, I am so sorry.
Oh, I hate to hear that.
So sorry to hear that. I am so sorry for your loss, buddy. He's at peace now. Yes, at least he's at peace.
Yes, amen.
But I ain't forget about my boys. Here's $10. Love you guys. Congratulations, Kyle and Sam Busch. Yes, congratulations to them. And the reason I was laughing, another $100 super chat from Dave Champ. Oh my goodness. Well, hold on. Or maybe it might not have updated on my end. Or is that the same one? Oh, that's weird. It didn't update on my end. Huh. So no, okay. That was the one from earlier. Okay, got you. All right. I don't know. YouTube's being weird. We're almost done. Oh, it's another 100 from someone else. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, YouTube was acting on the fritz.
Okay, to make it clear, Day 500 did give you two $100 super chats.
He did give me two, but then there was another 100. Okay. But now this is from Bullet Train X7 with the $100 super chat. Thank you so much, bro. I love all four of you guys. Keep up with the great videos. By the way, BFM, you make a great appearance. By the way, Mrucz. Also, congrats on Kyle Busch's second baby. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much, man. We're almost done with super chats. I promise. Two more. Just two more. The dumb. I can't speak. The Dom Goblin. Goblin. I was about to say. I wanted to say Domo Goblin for some reason. Sorry. The Dom Goblin. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Let's get a redneck Jesus. Hell yeah, Mr. Mike.
What?
I don't
Hell
know.
Yeah!
I never heard anybody call you Mr. Mike either.
I don't know who that is.
That's funny.
No. We need that at the end. What are you doing?
We're almost done.
I don't know. I got
He
one
can
too
see us
now.
out with it. He can see us out with it
Yeah,
too.
you can see us out with it. It's all good. And the final super chat of the night from Gordon the Big Engine with the $5 super chat. Stepping out of character. If Jimmy somehow wins the Indy 500, I will get a tattoo of his car. Whoa. That's crazy. And
I can't commit to that.
And we have one more $100 super chat from Day 500 Champ 15. Should I confuse him some more? Hello. Hey, I appreciate it, bro. Guys, hey, it's been a crazy night for super fans. So I appreciate it.
Hey, side note, just gotta say, Day 500 Champ, whoever you are, man, behind the name, hey, that's very generous.
Yeah,
and
that's very generous.
Even though, it goes to Derry, we all appreciate the love and support like that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, man. Really means a lot.
He's always very supportive of everything I do, so he's a good dude.
So if he watches in 2 weeks, he's going to be in the running for picking the Indy 500
Yeah,
winner.
just stay tuned for the Indy 500 winning picks. It's going to be crazy. But anyway, so that'll officially do it for this edition of the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. Next week, join us next week on Wednesday night, May 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time over on Eric Estep's channel. He will be back next weekend, I promise. We'll go over all of the events that took place during the Kansas weekend. But we will also be joined by a fellow YouTuber, the one and only Slap Shoes. Yay! We love Slap Shoes on the NASCAR.
He was in the
podcast.
chat tonight.
Yes, and we saw him too. We also saw Carnation back in the chat. We hadn't seen Carnation in the chat in a while, so he's
I
one
saw
of
him
the
on Twitter.
OGs. He's one of the
I saw him on
OGs.
Twitter more today.
Yeah.
So Slap
seeing
Shoes
that.
next week, and then the week after, leading into the Indy 500, David Land will come back on. So
Yes.
well, like these last 3 weeks of May, we're just getting all the star power from the YouTube community.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Got some additional month of May content on my channel too, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, be on the lookout for next week's show as well. So this show was fun. But really quick before we go, quick shout out to our guest tonight, Michael Mrucz. Thank you so much for coming on tonight's edition of the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. Where can people find you on social media?
Well, YouTube channel, Michael Mrucz, MRUCZ, and Twitter, Instagram, Michael_Mrucz. Facebook, I'm on that thing called TikTok. I don't know how many people use it, but
I use it sometimes.
I'm on there too.
Thank you for putting up with us and ourselves for 2 whole hours, Michael.
Yes,
Well,
thank you so much.
Actually, I got a surprise for you guys.
What's the surprise?
Okay. So I entered this contest. Some of you guys might have seen this on Twitter.
I saw this.
Wait.
Okay. It was with Carvana Racing, their Twitter account, and they were giving away those Carvana jackets, jean jackets, bedazzled ones from the Jimmy commercials.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow I got picked, and I won one.
No way.
And I got picked on Monday. It arrived today. So I've got signed it.
Way.
Let's go.
Oh, that's so cool. What?
Man, my
Let's-
headphones getting in the way.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow. That is a rare thing. That is cool.
Whoa, that was cool. For a second, I saw the Joy Logano fading through to bedazzle.
Dude, so that's
I'm
awesome.
going to the 500 in a few weeks.
Too bad it'll be hot.
I'm gonna be wearing it.
You're gonna be wearing it? Hey.
I might be the one person that dies there.
Hey,
Heat stroke.
I don't blame you, bro. I mean, hey, they sent you
That's
that.
awesome.
That's cool, man.
Doctor said he died smiling for some reason.
Well, that's where this came. They sent me this too. So thank you, Carvana, for hooking me up.
Makes sense now. So then it has to be from this year, then, right? If they sent you a diecast.
I guess.
Right?
Yeah, it
So-
doesn't have a
so
year on it. So
This is the equivalent. I was at an Ally thing at Michigan, and this dude from Ally just randomly comes up to me, not even knowing who I am or that I'm a big fan. Oh, I guess I had on an Alex Bowman t-shirt, but he just comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, I got something for you. It is a signed Alex Bowman hat and signed Alex Bowman t-shirt." So
And
That's
thank you. Shout out to Tyler for becoming an official BFM channel member. Appreciate it. But yeah, no, that's an awesome jacket, dude. That's an awesome.
I never thought I'd wear anything bedazzled.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But hey, you saw it in the Jimmy commercial. Hey, Jimmy, I wore it, so you have to wear it. So that's cool.
It's like you're
I'm
back in
wondering-
2009.
wait, we haven't really been able to see your shirt. I just got a glimpse of what does
Oh,
the shirt
yeah.
have on there?
Jubai.
Nice.
Perfect. So perfect, man.
I'm wondering because when they did this contest, they showed the picture where I don't know, they did something for social media where Chip Ganassi had one, Scott Dixon had all these jackets. They were the whole team had one on. Was this one of those?
I guess.
I don't know.
Or maybe that might have been the one he wore.
It might have been the one. I mean,
I don't know.
I'm trying.
I mean, out of
That's
all
what
those,
Jimmy smells like. I don't know.
out of all those people that you listed, I mean, Jimmy has the closest body shape to you. So
Yeah.
Well, you got to see how short this thing is on me. It does not go down very far.
But anyways, now that's a pretty good way to end the show too. So with Michael's bedazzled jacket. Anyways, thank you so much for coming on tonight's show, and thank you guys so much in the chat for watching this edition of the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. This is Black Flags Matter. Catch you next time. Wait, who has the Dale call? Who's doing it?
Ooh,
Oh yeah, you do.
Can
it,
I
'cause
go?
Yeah, do it. We couldn't hear Jared's. Go. Okay, well we can hear that better. Bye, Mrucz! Bye, Mrucz! Goodbye! Bye, Mrucz! Bye, Mrucz! You little
Byron's the best driver to 40.
Green. Holy moly. Great job! Yeah! This guy.
Thank you. Wow!
Hell yeah. Woo-hoo! Great job, man!
Now we got a crash. Car spinning left and right.
Buddy, let her rip. Rain like hell, baby! Come on! Oh my god, guys! Yes! Yes! Unbelievable! You guys are the best!